The Discover Help Foundation presents Stress-Free Living with Ratanjit S. Sandhi. Here to share with you what he's learned from delivering keynote addresses to thousands of people around the world and his many books and articles through simple thoughts, timeless truth, divine wisdom, personal empowerment, and stress-free living for a joy-filled journey. And now, Stress-Free Living.
Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal, Assalamu Alaikum, may peace be with you. I'm Ratanjit coming to you from the United States of America. Welcome to another Stress-Free Living program. And thank you, Ray, for joining us again this morning. How are you?
I am great, and I am delighted to continue this conversation. We started by my asking you what's really in charge of our decision-making process, because most of us tend to think that we need to count on our brain to logic out, to rationalize what we should do with our life. But we also know that the brain sometimes gets us into trouble and goes places that we shouldn't have it go. And then we talked about emotion, and we know that we should not really make decisions on emotion, even though we want to. But that also usually leads to bad decision making. So after a good discussion, you came and presented the conscience as being ultimately where we need to make our decisions.
Conscience is really the presence of the divine power in all of us. That's why it is uncontaminated, it is pure, and as some wise people have said, that the brightest of the human being, the most powerful of the human being, can cheat the entire world, can manipulate everyone, but they can never cheat themselves. What is that themselves? That is their conscience. Because you can manipulate your brain, you can manipulate your feelings, but your conscience, you can't.
It is a word, it's a thought process that I think is needed more today than ever before. And this is just my opinion on this, but I don't think we really pay attention to our conscience. I don't think we teach our children to even understand what that is.
Right.
So that's why I'm so excited about this show and about presenting this back, and maybe reminding some people of some things that they learned like I did at a young age, that let your conscience be your guide.
Yes.
So we're going to continue talking about our conscience, and also I would like a little bit later to talk again about why we shouldn't let our brain be in charge, because how that actually could get us into trouble. We mentioned in the last program about the terrible number of people, astounding number of people that are suffering
extremely intelligent, extremely worldly,
Yes.
and still they fall into trap of being guided by their five senses, which is really absence of their conscience. And their conscience keeps on telling them not to do that, but they feel invincible because of the power and the fame they have gotten. And they say, oh, nobody's going to know. And although they know in their heart that they are doing the wrong things. And Ray, there is another amazing thing is the true confidence is a confidence which requires no crutches. What I mean by that is, which requires no title, no recognition, no degrees, no know-how, and that confidence only comes if we follow our conscience. Otherwise, all worldly confidence require a title, a job title, or you need to be elected, to be appointed, or you have to have money, you have to have power. That's where most of people drive their confidence. But that is hollow confidence. And anytime some of those crutches are taken away, they have no confidence. And because it is hollow confidence, that basically is ego-generated confidence. And that's why many of these people who have that kind of a confidence has very high ego. And when their confidence is challenged, what happens? They get angry. They get mad. So that confidence, which comes from simply worldly powers, worldly manipulations, is not the true confidence.
But I certainly agree with you, but when you are in those predicaments, and let's look at some of the greatest leaders or some of the people, what would be a good example is the Ponzi scheme people.
Right.
Okay. And you talk about intelligence. Some of the people that do that are the most brilliant people that understand numbers and to be able to manipulate everything the way they do and to carry that off. And they're very emotional. People buy into what they're doing. Okay. But a lot of those people, they get this pseudo confidence because their brain has been so engineered and so active in justifying and putting all the data into their bodies that say, this is why I'm doing it, and this is right, and this is good, and this is believable. And they do that so much that there is a confidence that they feel. Now, pseudo-confidence, certainly. But I understand, I think anybody could see how you get a tension going on in your body.
Yes.
Because your ultimate conscience knows this is wrong, and yet you have all the other faculties of your body that's saying, oh, this is perfectly right.
You see, the one thing which we have to realize, that if you sharpen your brain or gather incredible amount of data and intelligence through education, through experience, through technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you feel that I am now in charge, I'm invincible, I can do anything, and begin to defy your conscience. You pay an incredible high price for that at the end. Many of these people have their marriage failed, their family life miserable, and they have, because when you are not in peace with yourself, and that peace and harmony within yourself only is available through having a total compliance with your conscience. If you are not, even medically, Ray, when you are not in total compliance with yourself, you are not in peace with yourself, there are chemicals which are exuded in your body. They are called stress chemicals. And you are under stress.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you under stress? In spite of the fact that you have everything going.
Mm-hmm.
You have a fear of losing everything. You're always insecure. When you are going with your conscience, insecurity disappears. It doesn't matter because you are following your conscience. And your objective becomes not the result driven, because today, end is justifying the mean. Whereas with the conscience, it is the path which is important, not the end result. And when you are following the correct path based on your conscience and utilizing all your knowledge, wisdom, and your brain power, then you are really free of all these stresses.
Before we go any further, how do you define conscience? Where is that placed in us? Is it something in us, or is it something outside of us that we need to be connected to?
Well, medically, you cannot analyze any part of our body and call it a conscience.
Right.
You can analyze a brain, say, oh yeah, there is an organ which we call brain,
Mm-hmm.
and it is linked to every part of our body and controls. When my hand moves, it is instructed by my brain.
Mm-hmm.
When my eyes see certain things, you can be seeing things, but you can't see anything until your brain is engaged,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So brain is a powerful manager,
Right.
but it is not the CEO. It's under the CEO. The CEO should be your conscience. And so from worldly side, right, if we try to see things from our worldly side, see, what we call a truth is whatever I can touch, what I can feel, what I can see, I call it truth. I say, oh, I can see that. But the reality is never seen. Has anyone seen electricity? You only see the effect of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So has anyone seen air? It's right there. You can't see because our eyes are not, you can only feel. You can breathe air. Right? So there are so many realities of life which are vital, extremely vital to our very existence. We can't see, we can't touch, we can't feel. So one of those realities is our conscience.
And I do agree with it, and I understand what you're saying, but still, where is it? It's still, even though it's not able to be seen.
It's as long as we are alive, even on our deathbed, as long as we are still breathing, conscience is present. Conscience is, in other words, presence of the power which links all of us together as one. It's a supreme intelligence. You can call it God. You can call it a supreme power. That is what has placed their policemen inside you.
We have much more. We'll continue our discussion on stress-free living. Stay with us. You can send Ratanjit your thoughts, read articles, get your free stress relief profile, and learn more about living a stress-free and joy-filled life at ratanjit.com. Or email Ratanjit your questions and comments at email@ratanjit.com.